Let's look at what the average person can do to not just survive inflation, but to thrive. What kind of investments or financial moves do you need to make in order to come out on the other side better than when you went in? Going back to my pool analogy, I don't want anyone to drown while we cover this, so let's do a quick review of inflation and hyperinflation, and even the Fed's new term, transitory inflation. If you know this stuff already, stick with me. It'll be real quick. Go grab another dew while you wait or fill up your coffee cup. Okay, first there is inflation. It feels like prices are going up, and they may be going up a little, but what is really happening is the purchasing power of your money is going down. So maybe that $200,000 house last year will now cost you $250,000. That's inflation. Hyperinflation is the same thing, but, well, it's hyper. What does it mean to be hyper something? If we call someone hyper emotional, then they are super emotional. Hypersensitive means they are sensitive, but super sensitive. Same type of thing for hyperinflation. You can think of it as superinflation. It means inflation has reached epic proportions. Economists aren't completely agreed on what constitutes hyperinflation or superinflation as opposed to regular inflation, but Investopedia says it's hyperinflation when it reaches 50% per month. In my house and my economy, I'll consider it hyperinflation way before inflation is occurring at that rate. So forget the number. Just know that hyperinflation is fast. It's super fast. It's superinflation, and it tends to happen slowly at first and then rapidly. So it may hurt a little, and then a little more, and then a little more, but before you know it, it's too late. We've all felt a little of the impact of a devaluing of our dollar. The Federal Reserve, or Fed, likes to call what we're going through right now as transitory inflation. This is the same Federal Reserve that told us in 2008 that there was no problem with the subprime mortgage industry, and everything was going to be just fine. Transitory inflation is just a phrase that somebody came up with to help keep the masses from panicking. But calling inflation transitory won't change anything, and it certainly won't make it transitory. So here's the deal. Let's talk about boiling a frog to death. Okay, it's been said if you throw a frog in hot water, it'll immediately jump out. But if you put it in a pot of water, let it get comfortable, and then heat it up slowly over time to boiling, that frog will sit there until he cooks to death. Why? Because the heat came slowly and the frog didn't realize what was happening. In this situation, the Federal Reserve is the chef, the pot is the economy or society, and we, well, unfortunately, we are the frogs. Some frogs are going to come to a slow boil until it's too late. But a few of us are going to see what's coming, know that somebody's going to get burnt, and hop out of the pot. So maybe if we play our cards right, we can even profit from this period of inflation or hyperinflation instead of just letting it run us over like a freight train. So if you believe that this is certainly not transitory inflation, as the Fed would have you believe, then let's explore what you can do to turn a profit in the next few years and come out on top after inflation has done its damage.